Would everyone please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Another pet peeve of mine is hearing everyone say, "Save our democracy." We are not a democracy. Just let everyone know in case you were taught that in school. All right, one thing as you noticed when you walked in, we had an involuntary, voluntary $5 donation. We are trying to raise money to send Bibles to the soldiers overseas. Our government found in the 90s that they didn't feel as if it was their jobs to bring God into the lives of our troops. So as a lot of churches across the nation, across the country, and a lot of organizations like ourselves, any money we have left over after our expenditures, it all goes towards sending Bibles. Our last event, we were able to send 100 Bibles overseas. So please, if anyone wants to donate any more than welcome. $5 is just a suggestion. We also have another video here, Oliver North, if anyone's ever heard of him. He's going to talk a little bit about our troops.
Just for the grins, how many of you raised a teenage boy? I used to do this when Betsy wasn't there because she eventually told me, "I saw you raise your hand, I did that." Think about getting a teenage boy to clean up his own room, do his own laundry, fix his own meals, clean up everything without a size 10 in the backside, and yet that same youngster today washes and mends his own clothing, feeds himself, takes care of cleaning his weapon, cleaning himself. He's totally self-sufficient. The kid who once wouldn't share a candy bar with his little brother now gives away his last drop of water to a wounded comrade, his only MRE to a hungry Afghan kid, and splits his ammo with a mate in a firefight. I always save this one for last when I'm explaining it to young people about who they are, because so few of them know the truth of these youngsters. This is a frame taken from my footage on the 6th of April 2003. Baghdad is the smoke pall you see in the background. The Marine unit I'm with embedded is the van, the lead element of the attack on the Eastern Corridor. We're about 15 miles outside of Baghdad, and a Republican Guards regiment ambushes this Marine rifle company. They spin their Humvees around, and there is a gunfight that occurs between this regiment and this rifle company. And in the midst of the beaten zone, the area where the intersecting bullets are crossing, a United States Navy corpsman I had first met in Kandahar in 2001 rushes into the battlefield, right through the fire, drags two wounded Marines out, and carries them on his shoulder to a helicopter that's landed in the roadway. And in this footage right here, I am standing on the ramp of that helicopter. And this corpsman, who's rushed now twice before and brought these two wounded back, now has a third one. And off to the right-hand side, as you look at the screen, a Reuters news crew sets up their tripod, and they're videotaping him going in and out. And as this guy staggers back into the gunfight, one of them shouts out, "Hey, mate, what did you do that for? Didn't you notice?" In other words, you stupid American. Didn't you notice that wasn't a Marine? If you look carefully at that photograph, you'll see that the wounded warrior, who's already been bandaged up by that United States Navy medical corpsman, isn't a Marine. It's a wounded Iraqi soldier. And this U.S. Navy corpsman has rushed into the battlefield to save his life. And so, because it's polite company, Wayne, I can only put it this way. In response to the Reuters news crew, the Navy corpsman gives them a gesture. You're not supposed to get that part. He gives him a gesture. He says, "Didn't you notice? He was wounded." That's what we do. We're Americans.
So, how many of you are feeling proud of your state right now? Whew. Yeah, sort of expected that. There's a lot not to be proud of at this point, isn't there? I go around and speak a lot about the Constitution in a lot of different areas, and whenever I leave the state, Normally the jokes that I tell that get the best response right now all revolve around the fact that I'm from the state of Illinois. So it's very safe to say at this point that we are at least a regional joke, if not a national joke. Just a couple days ago I was actually in Madison, Wisconsin, and they're not feeling very good about Wisconsin right now. Tried to recall their governor last year, and they feeling a little bit like things are beyond repair. Told the group in Wisconsin, I've got a surefire way, will always work, way for you to feel better about your state. So the next time you're feeling bad about Wisconsin and you think it couldn't be any worse, just say 2 words to yourself. Rod Blagojevich. And that worked for them. Probably not so much for you, though. Seriously, though, did we elect a guy that looks like Alfred E. Newman, but still thinks he's blacker than Obama? Every time I think of that, I have to pause for a second. Did we really do that? While I'm on that point, though, think about it. When Barack Obama was trying to figure out where to send the terrorists from Guantanamo Bay, it was our 2 senators that stood up and went, "Oh, me! Me! Pick me, please!" So we've definitely got a lot of things not to be proud of in this state right now. But that's all starting to change, isn't it? Yes. It's starting to change because of events like this, where you walk in and you don't see Republicans or Democrats. You just see people who are interested and committed to freedom. Amen. It's a beautiful thing.